What's going on, guys? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It is Sunday, June 24th, 2018. And this could be possibly one of the best weeks of my life, one of the best weeks of your lives, because not only are we going to be changing lives, but you're all going to be catching some pips, and you're going to be understanding why you caught some pips, because if you don't understand why the fuck you're not catching pips, you ain't learning shit. So, with that being said, let's get to it. Now, when it comes to Sundays, this is a trap day, so I don't necessarily like to say, look for this to happen tonight. I mean, I do, but I don't want you guys necessarily trading Sundays because they're trap days. And I want y'all to watch the markets unfold, watch tonight, see how things move. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will literally just go ape shit on these charts. So everybody, let's go over the pairs that I have. Pretty much every single pair here we'll go over. And we're going to make this shit happen. So, who's not muted? You. Got you. All right. Euro USD. I'm going to start from the monthly, guys. I like to make sure that we're all seeing this. It's getting towards the end of the month, so we all need to know what to expect. I got to turn my phone on.
Whoa, oh my God. Huh?
How are people, like, muted and talking? To me, it's amazing. It makes no sense. So with Euro USD for on the monthly, I'm just going to look at this real quick. It's dropped, it pulled back. I think it's going to do one more pull up here, just a short term, about here. Comes back up, retest. It's hitting off that 50 right now, so it seems like a little nice. Seems like a nice pullback zone. Weekly's bouncing off the 144. It's a big indication, possible pullback. Low was broken here. Is it broken? There's this, like that. No, we can keep this actually. I need to see this move there. How? Let's see. Hold on. Really? Whatever. Push up. I'm gonna see this the daily. All right, you're muted. Thank you. We got a W formation here. So like overall, this is the I honestly believe I'm seeing a head and shoulders here. I want to see it push up. If it doesn't decide to actually form that head and shoulders, I'm getting distracted. I don't know who's not muted, but it's distracting me. I wanted to see shoot up about to around this height area, around to the most recent support resistance zone of that left shoulder that could be possibly forming. The reason why I say it's a head and shoulders is if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, you'll notice a couple things. First off, it is divergent, right? We have price going up. And normally after the divergence around here, we like to see that shot down. So this is the indication of the head and shoulders forming, which is also giving me another reason to believe that long-term we are going to see that push up. So it's going to shoot it to first area would be the water zone. So around this recent weekly high, or it breaks that, goes up to the most recent resistance up to the top here where that left shoulder is formed. And then we'll ultimately see a pattern come across, shoot back down, take out the low, continue the trend. So, but that's the daily. So that whole scenario would happen over the span of the next 2 to 3 months. So that's just like a little overview. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we have a nice W formation. It broke the water here, as we like to see. That's the perfect time that I like to look for actual pushes up. So when I see it break in the water like so, I do ultimately want to see a consolidation come across and ultimately bounce off the water one more time and go up to the next EMA, which would be the Mayo, up towards the recent daily high. So for accuracy, or I don't want to say for accuracy, but for what I believe is going to happen this week, we have one of you guys to be looking for buys, right? So on a lower time frame, you would want to see that pullback, right? So as soon as it breaks this high, right, short term, if this was the most recent high, and so is this one actually, and now we got a new one. So after it forms, either it's going to pull back towards the water, throw a pattern, and then bounce off it and continue, or it's going to consolidate, then bounce off it and continue. Either way, you're waiting, all right? So expect the push down, expect it to come down a little bit, bounce off, just throw some, some false moves, stop hunts, whatnot, and look for it to shoot up. This is an overall uptrend, and it needs to be coming up towards this area. The first zone would be that blueberry, which is the 800 EMA on the 1 hour, which is also the Mayo on the 4 hour. So overall, looking for buys. What's this? Mute yourselves. Let's see. We got the U Chief. So I don't know how many people here play Euro U Chief, but it's ultimately looking like it's going to be coming back down to retest a trend line that actually might be retesting right now. I need to redraw this real quick. Hold on, because the pins are not lined up perfectly. When it comes to trend lines, guys, you need to line them up perfectly on these pins, otherwise they're going to fuck up. So who is, hold on one sec, guys. I can't do it. I don't know how to do that, Cole. So here was a trend line that we had established, and I'll even show you guys it even goes a little bit farther back than that. Out there. It's valid. It stayed structured. It broke through it, consolidated, and it's coming right back down to retest it. This one is not perfectly redrawn. I don't like that. There we go. So let's start from the monthly. It's in consolidation on monthly. Cook made this low. It wicked down. It could be forming an evening star on this monthly chart, meaning we could be possibly seeing that actual push down. It did form a new high on this side over here, but it is throwing these candles. It did throw a railroad down here, so I do want to see an ultimate push down just based off of that actual candlestick pattern here. Maybe a push down to the recent weekly low. All right, so that's simply what we look for. The daily came down for a new low, lower high, dropped. It's in a sticky situation right now because of like the fact that one, we have a new low here, and technically we have a new high up here. So it's not my favorite pair to look for, but if I had to guess myself, based on what we're seeing on Euro US, based on what we're seeing for Euro USD, I do want to see this thing possibly maybe pull back just a bit, but ultimately shoot back down to retest this low. All right, so I want you guys looking for possible sells this week, going into this next couple weeks. It's bouncing off of two trend lines right now, so that pullback could actually be a little bit more plausible in a sense. It's either going to pull back here, bounce off of the water, which is the EMA 50, which would be an ideal pullback zone, right? And if it does that, then we can actually see this thing decide to shoot back down to either one, take profit for a retest of the low, or two, break both the trend lines and the most recent support for then a new area of found resistance, which would line up perfectly with that most recent support, which is now resistance, and that trend line, which would act as both like a double, indication for an actual sell limit. So if you guys want the most precise entry, it would either be after the pullback to the high or after it breaks the low, pulls back to retests, and then you could take that first sell down to, let's see, I'll draw it out, down to the most recent support here, right? Because the support gives us the structure of the market that we need, and then down to here. So that would be your first area to take profit overall for this week, and that would be your second area. But we have to see what happens because this could obviously pull up a little bit higher, and if it really wanted to, guys, it could actually retest this support or this resistance right there. Right, so if it pulls back higher, that's where it's going to go. Couple areas. Well, so we'll have to see like how that's all going to play out. Let me delete this. All right, so we got GU. Let's go to the monthly. Bounced off the water for the monthly. Overall downtrend. I'm still liking it for a downtrend still, so keep it going. Weekly, last couple weeks, we saw the pullback, and pullback continued. We might actually see it push up a little bit more to possibly, and this is on the weekly, so this would be either this week or next week, possibly a push up to retest this catch up or the EMA 50. So that would be a possible scenario. Let me look at the lower time frames. Weekly is divergent, but it's not the divergence we look for. And the only way this would work is if it breaks that catch up and closes above it on the daily. Because if it does happen, guys, if this is that divergent pullback that we're looking for, this will shoot up and hit that most recent. Right? And it's because of the downtrend. I don't know if it would break it and continue up like that, but what I do see is that it's shooting up to around this area and then making its way back down. All right. Let me see the 4 hour. It is oversold. Look at that. It is oversold, and it is squeezing here. And normally when I see this does let me know of a potential pullback. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on GU for a nice rise. The 4-hour is nice and divergent here. You guys see it, the divergence actually starts all the way back here from this point. This is where it's oversold like crazy. You got a shark fin signifying the end of a possible, or the dying down of volatility over the next, obviously it's been what, like several weeks here. So this has just been setting up for a nice reversal. It extended it a little bit more. So what I'm expecting finally after, so long is this to happen this week. That's what I want to see happen on GU. It makes the most sense. You can even, if you really wanted to, you could can draw up your trend lines here. That's a valid trend line. It only takes 2 lines to become a trend line. So you got 1, 2. That's the most recent one. If it breaks it, ideally for you price action traders, you'd wait here, boom, retest, and buy. So, which would be perfect. Let's go to the 1 hour. New highs, everything, massive reversal. You guys see this divergence? This is what happened this past Thursday. There was divergence here, and then price coming up on the actual TDI itself, which put this into a new trend. After a massive push like that, it set the new trend. So it came up, pulled up, made a new high. This is simply this is the higher low. Once it consolidates a bit more, I want y'all looking for that push, that next push up. All right. We're going to be looking for a push up on GU. Buys this week at least, at least for the next couple days. Mind you, it's still an overall downtrend. It's still an overall downtrend. So don't be like fooled by that. Let's go to UJ. All right, this is giving me a headache. Hold on. Monthly. For those of you that hadn't seen this, actually, let me do this real quick. Easy to up and down, and down. This is why I had this price coming up a little bit. Let me see if this actually makes a difference too. Watch this. I see your question. Just give me a second. Cool. It's in a wedge right now on a higher time frame. It's bouncing off. If you see that weekly right now, it's in the middle of just complete and utter bullshit. So like because of this, because it's actually forming this pattern, it could drop back down to retest. We'll possibly be looking for sales, and this is just the overall. So like don't quote me on this. It could shoot down and then push back up to test these trend lines in the recent weekly high because it still hasn't touched them. I drew 2 trend lines on a higher time frame. And normally with price action, especially if it's wedging, it's going to respect these trend lines, and it hasn't hit either of them yet. So that's giving me a little bit more of like indecision of where it's at right now, because it could still shoot up and it could shoot down because of the patterns forming. So let me lower to the lower time frame real quick. Dailies. It's not divergent on the daily. But it is coming down to retest that stationary 50. The only way this would work on the daily is if it broke this, came back, retested it, and then dropped. That's what we'd have to look for. Let me go to the 4-hour. It's below the stationary 50. It's breaking out of the volatility band. This thing is it's looking like it's going to drop, actually. Like heavy. It's looking really good. Looking real good. But I still wouldn't. It's hard because look how tight these EMAs are. So there's that recent resistance. There's this one here. It would need to break. Let's see if I can draw this one too. See if it's valid. It's valid. Okay. It would need to shoot down and break that trend line and break that support line to retest it, and then go down to the next structured part, break that, retest it, structured part, break that, retest it. But these moves could happen very, very quickly. Now, because of the momentum push, we are seeing it shoot down now, but that doesn't mean it can't just shoot down here, hit this support zone, and then shoot back up. So if you want my opinion, it's not in a good spot right now to take any positions, because it's, look at this higher time frame. It's a low. Here's the high, here's the low. It's stuck in the middle. All right. And I tell you guys all the time, you buy low and you sell high. There is nothing for the middle. So on a higher time frame, the price, this pair might not do what it's supposed to do this week. So if you get stressed over UJ, I'm telling you right now, it's because it's in the middle. It's in the middle. So that's why I want you guys to be patient on this pair and wait for it to make its moves, because I promise you, if it breaks this low right here, it's going down to this trend line. If it breaks that high right here, it's going up to that trend line. And guess what? There's pips in between those areas. You have plenty of space. So don't rush this. Don't try to be greedy and try to flip fucking accounts because you want to make money. You want accuracy and you want consistency. Wait for this shit to pass, and I promise you, you'll get more than you can imagine. What is it? There you go. It's breaking this low right here. I'm thinking that's because there's JPY news. I'm not exactly sure. Is there any news? Does anybody know if there's news? Let me look. It's easy to let me know. Might be. I don't know. All right, we got a question here. Been on that shit. Yeah, UJ just because it's in the middle. That's why. It's UJ doesn't follow the rules. Pairs, the stuff that you guys look at higher time frames, the stuff you guys look at for basic structure in the market, all of that disappears when it's in the middle. All that disappears when it's in the middle of a high and a low. It's in between the high and the low right now on a higher time frame. That's why it's not doing the thing it's supposed to do. The ultimate thing is to wait for these massive support resistance zones to be broken, because then it's going to go down to the next structured part. So just be patient on UJ. AU. All right, so AU I still have for a possible shot up. I did say in the chats earlier, for those of you that paid attention, that I was expecting this to shoot down a little bit, and then a possible shot up after it makes that new low. Because here's the most recent high. Here's the W right here, the double bottom. Shoots up, forms a new high. It's going to shoot down, form a new low, right? Higher high, higher low, and then it's going to shoot up, retest this zone, and then possibly break it, right? Break it as it's going to do right here. Come back, retest, and go to the next EMA. That's ideally what we would want to see. And that's what I want to see too. On a higher time frame, guys, this thing is an overall downtrend. As you can see, here's the low, here's the previous low. It broke it. Let me look at this daily. But here's one thing that's giving me the reason as to why I believe this thing is actually going to shoot up to the daily. I believe it's going to shoot up to that recent weekly high. And this is the reason why. Is because it is divergent. 1, 2. Right, and if it's not and based on this, so you have oversold price, shark fin in the oversold zone. It's coming up. It's perfect. Now, when I see things that happen like this, 2 things can happen. It's either going to be a divergent W, and it's going to completely reverse and go back all the way up here, right? Or it's just going to. This is signifying just another pullback, right? And then hits the water and comes that down, because every single time there's divergence, it's always a pullback to the water. Or what it's going to do is it's going to come up, hit this area of recent daily high, right? Pull back down to retest this one wick zone, this one support, and then form an inverted head and shoulders for that potential buy to go up towards this Mayo. And that would be your take profit. So there's a couple things that we could see play out here. If we go to the lower time frame, that's on the daily. Right? So what I'm thinking is that's hitting the water now. I think it's going to bounce off the catch up, which is the 13 EMA, and then we're going to see a continued shot up. So for AU guys, you're looking for buys. Looking for nice buys. buys. And once it breaks, it's game over. GJ, in between, look at that. Going up, going down. I think you just love this thing. Let's go to the weekly. Overall, it's a downtrend. I mean, it is due for a pullback. It did throw all these wicks last week, so this could be the stop hunt right now. If anything, it could be shooting down towards this trend line. If it doesn't break it, it's going to go back up to this trend line at least. And if it does break it, you know, you're going to see a pullback, drop back down to this recent low. Right? So that's what you would see there. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, look at it, bounce right off of the EMA, right off of the trend line, drops. So ideally, we're going to be looking for hit this zone, and we could possibly see we're going to go right back up. Euro AUD. Oh, hold on. Let me finish GJ. Kind of just skipped along. Yeah, more precision. It's probably going to hit this trend line, guys. Wick off it, come back up. We'll see how it goes. And I believe there was JPY news because all the JPY pairs moved, which is weird. So that's what you're going to be looking for in GJ. We'll come back to that pair tomorrow. I got to see how it all plays out. Euro AUD is in that not the overbought zone, but it's in a zone right now. It's been divergent for the last, 6 years? Look, it started here. It started in 2012, and it's been divergent until now. And on top of that, it's forming a head and shoulders. So you got the left shoulder here, head. It's in the zone of the right shoulder right now, so it could play some games right now. Notice what happened over here. This is the left shoulder. Look how long it stayed in this zone. This is the day. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days overall, so about 2 weeks. This one has only been in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Like, this thing could form a pattern on a lower time frame, right? So this is the daily. This is the right shoulder that we're going to be looking for it to actually finally drop. And I do believe so because it's also fringing on the higher time frame. It's consolidating. Buy low, sell high is perfect. It's been above the stationary 50. It's still divergent on this time frame as well. So I'm still predicting this thing to be a drop. I just think they're accumulating contracts to see if anybody believes it's going to be a buy. Got the divergent double top here. Look at this. There's so much divergence here. It's ridiculous. These. I did a training on divergence earlier. That's why there's so many lines. Let me delete this. Okay. And let me delete this box. So we have price coming upwards. Price coming down. Right. This is double top, divergent double top, and it's hitting that water right now. I believe that this week we will see some sort of a push consolidation and then drop back down. Ultimately, once it takes out this low, guys, so this support zone, once it takes out this support, it's game over. It's dropping. This is the key zone right here. Once it takes it out, I promise you it will pull back and it will continue down. So that would be a pair that I'm still heavily looking at because the setups are it's too fucking perfect. It's too good. EG, let's see how this pair's moving. Ew. Disgusting. Still, I don't even know why I'm still looking at this pair. Buy low, sell high. If it doesn't touch this support or resistance, you're not buying. It's in the middle. So guess what? We're not even going to go over it because you're not touching it. GA. Let's see. Looks like it's going to drop. It's not divergent, so this could have been just easily a pull. I think it's going to drop one more time. It's looking good. Hold on one sec. This could possibly drop. I think it just stopped hunting right now. It's going up. Yeah. Look at this. It's divergent on this higher time frame. From here down. Get the price going across. You have price coming down. It's overbought. Shark fitting down. hitting that stationary 50. It threw a railroad last week and Friday as a drop. I think this is just slightly pulling up. This is exactly what I said last week. Literally on my last chart analysis, I was like, next week we could possibly see this thing shoot up for a wick and then wick all the way back down to continue the downtrend. 4 hour. 4 hours also divergent as well. You got price hitting a stagnant wall up top, like a ceiling. Shot down hard, it's pulling back. I want to see this thing drop. I just think it's pulling back to this zone right now for it to then shoot down, take out the lows, and allow us to make some more money. Should be good. We'll see how this plays out. Don't touch this pair until it decides to really break this low for a sell, because right now it even double topped up here. Look at this. On a smaller time frame. Price shot up. Price is overbought with a nice shark fin. It's divergent. It shoots down hard. Normally this is going to come up for a 50-50 bounce. You want to see this. Break this low. Break this low. If it breaks these lows, guys, it's going. It's going. Look. It needs to break this low right there. If it breaks this low, it's pulling back. It's going to drop. You just got to wait for it. Patience. Okay, let's do this. There. G Chief. Monthly. Look at that monthly. Engulfing pattern right off the EMA. Right off the 50 for a nice sell. That's why I have this thing overall for a drop. Broke the trend line. Perfect. Retested it. Breaking the stationary 50. You guys see that weekly? Look, it's breaking out of the volatility band, which is a Bollinger Band technically. And when it pushes out like that, price has momentum and they start to open up, giving it more volatility in the market. It's breaking the stationary 50, which is also the EMA 50. So when that both happens at the same time, you ultimately do see nice gradual movement down towards that bottom. The daily broke that small trend line. This thing is still going to be dropping. I'm still looking for sells. If it breaks that support, it's game over. 4 hour, yeah, it's still selling. It's divergent, but it's nothing. I still think it's going to continue. All the EMAs are crossing over to the downside. Like, everything is saying sell. If anything, you're looking for stop hunts high and you're selling. So false moves up, drop. That's what I want you guys looking for. And then we'll finish it off with gold. Oh, no, I'll do gold and then AJ because I know AJ's been looking pretty good. 1, 2, gold finally broke all those lows. I believe we still have this thing for a push up for a pullback. So it's pulling back right now on the daily. It's oversold. It's not divergent, which is telling me that this is just simply a pullback. Divergence likes to be like the indication for a nice reversal, and if it's not divergent and it's pulling back, that means it's only just a small pullback, not actually going to be a reversal all the way to the upside. So seeing a nice push up to around this area and then drop right back down to retest the low. So you guys be ultimately waiting for it to push up a little bit more and then you're selling the fuck out of it. AJ. On a higher time frame, this is in a buy low, sell high type situation. It threw wicks here. It's coming down. I mean, it could shoot up a little bit more. I ultimately do believe it will before it makes its ultimate move back down with the trend. So I want to see this thing shoot up to about, around here. I think it's just pulling back right now. Let me look at this lower time frame. So this is the massive supply zone. All this, look, every time it hit it, even the supports wicks off of it. So boom here. I want to see this thing shoot up a little bit. I think it's just stop hunting now. Just coming down, and then we'll see it wick up
I'm talking to my brother.
The EMA 50 or at least the water. We got plenty of position. So I ultimately want to see it come up to this area though, because if it comes up to here, man, oh boy, I'll be making some money. Let's go to the hour. Yeah, this is just a nice stop hunt. Oh, look at this. The reason why. Watch. I guarantee. See how it formed this? I guarantee it's right off the 144 EMA. Let me get it set up. Oh my God, that was perfect. Right off of it. So shoots down, stop hunting. I like it. We'll see how the rest of this thing goes, but ultimately I still want this thing looking for a buy. Cool. So that's the group chart analysis. Anybody here have any like questions real quick? I mean, it's just Sunday, so I mean, we're just gonna play out. Like I said, I don't really like Sundays overall because they are trap days. So you will see a lot of crazy movement, and that's what we're seeing right here. So this could be the stop hunt, and I don't want you guys trying to catch emotions and feelings in the shit because that's what these days are meant for. So be ready, watch this stuff. What do you mean by diverge? I've never heard of that term. Divergence? Oh, that's a whole nother lesson. Go on babypips.com and look in the section called divergent, or go on YouTube and type in divergence. I don't have enough time today to go over divergence, but divergence can literally tell you about pullbacks. It can tell you if it's going to be a reversal. It's pretty much every single reversal, the best reversals in any time frame. But I suggest for anybody on here that doesn't know divergence, get to know it. It's gonna be your best friend. It's like the first thing I look for in anything. Gives me that's how I'm able to judge where it's gonna go overall, pretty much. Do you see UCAD dropping this week? I don't know because I don't look at that pair. I mean, I could look at UCAD overall. I'll give you an overall gist. Chart window. Let's see. Holy. I actually do see UCAD dropping because I did remember actually looking at this from a higher time frame perspective. And here's the thing. Here's a low. Here's a lower high. Here's also a trend line. See that? 1, 2. I think it could be a little bit better. Hold on. Move this here. Go to the daily. Bam. I'm going to line this up perfectly. So from here, from this exact point right there, make sure it lines up with that second hit there. Boom. So you got 1, 2, 3. And this is why I had UCAD. This is why I wanted it for sale. And it's oversold. It's hitting this trend line on a higher time frame. Look at this. This is the next zone. What the? Give me a sec. This is the next zone. It's in this like what? It's in like this bearish channel. I believe UCAD's going to be dropping hard. That's my opinion. Look at it. It's at the very top. Buy low, sell high, right? Well, it's been maintaining this channel for the last what? Since over here. Since God knows what? August 2017. It's hit a high, a very, very good spot. So yes, I believe UCAD will be dropping, and not just dropping like a little bit. Like I mean, like fucking dropping. Like UCAD could be a lot of people's money this month. Go to where to learn about divergence, babypips.com, and it threw a long ass stop hunt wait. Exactly. You know, anytime you guys see wicks like this on a time frame like this, or I'd say anytime you see wicks, just know that's the market makers literally stop hunting people out, hitting breakout traders. Literally, look at this trend line. This is a trend line that was built on purpose because you know how many breakout traders that had their buy stops like right above it. They do that on purpose. They shoot it up so fast because there's so many uneducated people in Forex that they are just going to be like, oh my God, it's buy, buy, buy. So they all start buying and then whoop, they shoot it right back down. They go against the trend because nobody ever looks at the bigger picture. This is why I tell you guys, look at the bigger picture. It's telling you a story. Read the story. And it will literally give you everything you want. It hit the trend line. It threw a massive wick. It's overbought like a motherfucker. This is a story for a sell. This is a sell. So you're going to be looking and waiting and then pretty much just riding this whole thing up. Get stopped out. Exactly. Unless you put your stop loss high up. But who wants to do that? So yeah, you guys are going to be looking for sells overall on UCAD. Cool. Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Any other questions? This is recorded, so I'm going to be posting this up. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be posting this up in the group. If you have not joined my Forex Chart Analysis yet, and you just got the Zoom link in the groups, search it on Facebook, CCT Winner Circle, free Forex Chart Analysis nightly. I do these every night, Sunday to Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. PST, and I will not stop until some of you get this, because I do not plan on doing this my entire life. So someone eventually here will take over. But for the time being, get your ass on these calls. I do these for free. I will not do it for free forever. So let's get this shit popping, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Peace out.